Don't Vote Labour Again, Episode 62. Labour's pick to replace Amesbury is Karen Shaw, a local councillor and former deputy council leader, Cheshire West and Chester. She has been criticised for some weapons-grade hypocrisy. In 2021, she celebrated so-called refugees being welcomed into the local authority. Cheshire West and Chester has been warmly welcoming refugee families for many years. The council and our partners have a proven system that has already supported many people, including Syrian refugee families, to integrate successfully into their new lives and make a valuable contribution to our communities. The council and our partners have been overwhelmed with donations and offers of support to refugee families. Once again, the people of West Cheshire have shown huge compassion towards those in need. Now she's running for Parliament, however, and Reform are polled to win the seat by a 3% margin, she has changed her tune. The last government left behind a broken asylum system, with millions being spent on hotels. Labour is fixing the mess and has already removed over 19,000 people who shouldn't be here. I'll campaign to close the local asylum hotel. Sign my petition here. As Groucho Marx famously said, "These are my principles, and if you don't like them, I have others." Reform announced their candidate on March 24th. Sarah Potchin is also a former local councillor, having served on Cheshire East Council for the Conservatives, taking on the role of mayor for a year. She was also a magistrate. She doesn't seem like an especially charismatic pick. Perhaps Nigel doesn't want these. And as mayor, she went to a Refugees Welcome event in 2022. That's another thing she's got in common with Mrs. Shaw. She posted this on Facebook. "Pleasure to attend the Refugees Welcome event in Macclesfield this afternoon with Syrian and Afghan families that have settled in Cheshire East." Now, as mayor, you have to go through the motions and do as you're told. We can't blame Potchin too much for performing this official duty, unless she truly believed in it. However, it hardly bodes well in an election where refugees will be a major issue, and she's in the party that is supposed to be tough on the asylum issue. Reform tried to play the genuine Ukrainian refugee angle, implying Potchin was championing them alone. But as you can see, she specifically mentioned Syrians and Afghans. GB News changed the headline on the story as if they had been nobbled by Nigel. She also attended one of those creepy drag queen story hours at a local library or somewhere. As said, Reform are polled to win, and I believe they will. I am torn on this one because on one hand I know Reform is the only party that can win the seat from Labour. On the other, I am quite disenchanted after the Rupert Lowe situation, in which Farage and Youssef were the worst offenders. I am not very confident in anyone that Farage and Youssef select as a candidate, especially a Tory who is jumping ship. There were 29 such defectors paraded the other week, ranging from your basic Tory quitters to a Lib Dem, a dissident socialist, and someone who appears to be a Bangladeshi nationalist. If Reform picks a good candidate with a mind of their own, then how long can they last before they get on the wrong side of their leader? Reform winning would be way more preferable than Labour winning, and we'll have to live with it, and simply hope Potchin serves her constituents well. It's very unlikely any Low Habib party could get going in time. The SDP are standing, but with all due respect, they'll be lucky to get 1,000 votes. They will, however, contribute to the drag on Labour's vote, which will also come from the Greens, Lib Dems, the Workers' Party of Britain, and perhaps the Independent. You'll notice I didn't even mention the Conservatives. However you feel about the situation within Reform at the moment, or indeed however you feel about Labour's governmental performance and the oppositional leadership of Kemi Badenoch, It is fair to say that this by-election will be interesting to watch. These are from my article series Don't Vote Labour Again, published on my Substack, link in description. I usually split each subject into smaller episodes. In the description you will find links to the other episodes. You can also check out my playlist to find every single one. Please support me in my work by subscribing to this channel, subscribing free to my Substack, and by liking and sharing. Thank you very much, and I'll see you again soon as we plumb the depths of this dreadful government.